Hello, everybody. This is Beth Worsdell, author, and welcome to the Witty Writers Show. We've got a fantastic show for you today because we're doing dark fantasy and a touch of sci-fi with the amazing Josephine Wrightson. Hello, Josephine.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Beth.
I've been so excited about today.
Me too.
I've got to tell you.
I'm really getting into the swing of these now.
Because for those who don't really know, Josephine and I are actually extremely good friends. We're BFFs from across the pond.
We do.
And we're always chatting about books and
hours.
Hours. We do. And Josephine's one of the few people that see me when I first get up in the morning and I look like Harry Potter or sometimes worse. But you still love me, don't you?
I do, yes.
You do.
Pajama parties. Morning, evening.
So welcome, everybody. Welcome. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and click on the notifications so you get notified when we do have another episode of the Witty Writers Show. Josephine won't mind me telling you this because we discussed this the other day. Facebook has changed its algorithms yet again, unfortunately. So most of us are only seeing a very small percentage of updates and notifications from our groups. It's weird. So if you have your favorite groups and pages like Beth Worsdell, author, and Josephine Wrightson, author, all you have to do is click on our pages, go to the top right-hand corner where it shows 3 dots, click on those 3 dots, and then you can select all notifications. And that way, nobody misses out on any shows or any updates of what Josephine.
You will only be getting the highlights.
Exactly. You will be getting tiny percentage. So as I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got such a fun show today, Josephine, because I'm so excited. Not only are we going to be talking about your amazing books, but you're also doing a giveaway as well.
We are, yes.
And so just so everybody knows, if you share today's interview with Josephine, you will have the chance to win a beautiful bracelet, which Josephine will show you right now. It is gorgeous. It's so lovely.
Getting it on, stuck to my ring.
There we go.
The camera.
Isn't that gorgeous? So you might have a chance to win this beautiful bracelet. And also 5 lucky winners, if they share this interview, will get a chance to win one of 5 ebooks of Josephine Wrightson's book, Listen. So it's all happening. If you have got any questions during the show for Josephine, please put them in the comments. Or if you just want to say hello, and I will pop them on the screen. So before we go any further, Josephine, we have got lots of people joining us. So I'm going to pop them up so they can say hello to you. We've got Lisa.
Oh, hello, Lisa.
She says, hello, ladies. And I know she's a huge fan of your books, isn't she?
She is, yeah. She's lovely.
And Lisa's based in Germany, isn't she?
She is. She's a German lady.
Oh, she's fantastic. I tell you, we're all over the globe, Josephine.
We are.
All over the globe. We got...
Oh, there's Heather and Gemma.
Yeah, she says, hi, ladies from Gemma and I. Big kisses to Gemma. I hope she's doing well at school. She's so cute. We've also got Heather Shepherd. She says hello from Los Angeles.
Oh, hello.
Thank you for joining us, Heather. Heather, actually, I found out on our last show, Heather actually worked on Kung Fu Panda. I thought that was...
yes, I did see that in the... yes, she did. I saw that in the comments. I was just turning mine on.
I thought that was amazing. See, I do remember stuff, Heather. I do remember stuff.
Yes, she did. She said she worked on it.
We've also got a new viewer as well, which is Kevin. He says, hi, this is Adam, not Kevin, just to notify. Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for joining us, my darling. So, Josephine, oh my gosh, you've had a really, really busy time since the last time you was on the show.
I like to be busy.
You do like to be busy. You honestly haven't stopped, have you?
No.
Now, just to tell people who are new to you, you've got well over 10 books published, haven't you?
13.
13. Dun, dun, dun. It's just amazing.
And it was the number I stopped on.
Your reviews are absolutely amazing. Honestly, you've got such a fantastic fan base because you're the one thing I've noticed is that when I've seen your reviews, etc., your readers can't just stop at one book. They literally go on to the next and the next and next. I don't think you can get a better compliment than that, can you?
No, not at all.
It is absolutely amazing. So 13 books, but what have you been doing over the last year?
Since March, April really, of last year, I've been re-editing all of them. Yeah, big feat. And I'm on at the present moment number 9, so I'm over halfway, so it's really, I'm pleased now.
That's just absolutely amazing. Now, you and I have talked about this, and we talk about everything books, don't we?
We do.
But the main reason you've done this is because you found yourself in the situation where a lot of us find ourselves, and that is by the time you've gone from 1 book to 3, you've learnt massive amount.
Yeah.
By the time you've gone from the 3rd book to the 6th book, you've learnt even more. So you found yourself in a situation that by the time you got to your 13th book, you looked back and you thought, oh my gosh, I've learned so much. I need to go back and redo.
I could see the mistakes, the grammatical mistakes. I'm not advocating to it really.
But do you know what? It's amazing, isn't it, how your writing style changes as well? Because, you know, we learn, don't we? We learn from our beta readers. We learn from the people who edit our work. We learn from reviews and feedback. All of that makes us stop and think, okay, maybe I should have implemented that, or maybe I should go back and implement all of that.
Yeah.
Has it been exciting for you to go back and go through?
I'm reading them. Well, I'm listening to them now, walking around with the headphones on, and I'm sat, and it's the same words that are rearranged. They're not sort of so short and sharp. The sentences are better. They're put together better. I had a tendency to be more bullet point with it, and it was too abrupt because of that. And the flow is so much better. And I surprised myself, I have to say. I always knew I had the imagination, but now they are better. They're probably still not 100%, but they're definitely better.
It's just fantastic. I applaud you. I really do, because I mean, re-editing 13 books is a massive feat. A massive feat. The main thing that really makes me admire you so much, Josephine, and I mean, obviously you're a wonderful person anyway. But the fact that you've been willing to go back and go through all of your books to make them even better, to make them better for the reader, to give yourself an advantage over other authors who can't be bothered. You know, I mean, that is a phenomenal feat.
It was a critique that made me actually look twice at what I was doing. I always thought there were mistakes. And also, Hubby bought me the desktop, and the desktop does more than my pad as well. So when I was running it through and it was coming up and it was showing me, and I thought, oh, of course. And I knew. So the critique prompted me to go back and have another go.
Yeah.
And I am so much benefiting from it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nasty. Some of the critiques and the reviews are going around. They're not critiques. They're just downright nasty. And there's no need. It was a critique, and I thought, yeah, she's right. And we discussed it as well. And so I attempted to go through them again. With one I've done recently, Promises and Lies, because I needed to define who was talking as well and who was doing what and when, because it was all, in my mind, I knew what was happening, but it could get confusing for the readers. So I took out, I shan't say it's a lazy way of writing, but I had a tendency to put everybody's thoughts in.
Yeah.
And instead of sticking to one person's thoughts or two within reason, and explaining what everybody else was doing within the room, I was just putting all the thoughts in. So it was quite lazy. So when I stopped doing that and concentrated on one, and then explained what was happening and the excess of words for that, I ended up adding another 2,000 words.
Which isn't always
going up to 5,000 words.
Wow.
It jumped up a lot.
I think it's brilliant. I really,
that would
really
be
do.
the reason, if you consider what I'm doing, instead of us thinking, oh shit, you have to put, she stood and thought.
Yes.
So you've got extra words all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pleased with them.
Yeah. Well, your reviews speak for themselves. They really, really do, especially since, you know, they're even better now. You've edited the ones you have, and it must be a massive sense of achievement as well, because you know in yourself that you feel happier that they're better. And I think it's a massive undertaking, and I applaud you honestly, because there are many authors out there that wouldn't have gone to those lengths to improve their books. But you've put yourself in such good stead now. And as we've discussed in the past, you know, the knowledge that you've learned now will just make future work even better as well.
I'm finding that because I write on my pad, because my pad's portable and I take it all over with me, and I listen.
We are talking iPad, by the way, everybody.
Sorry. Yeah, an iPad. So I do the basis and the basic writing on there, and now I'm re-editing at the moment. I'll probably do a chapter at a time, and then I'll run it through the desktop to pick up on stuff that the pad doesn't pick up on.
Yeah.
And I do write it on that, and I'm just finding it. I do need to polish it, the desktop, but I'm putting it in myself as well.
Yes. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. The more I learn, the more I automatically correct, or I just do it now because I've been correcting myself, making little mistakes.
Along. Yeah,
you do. It makes a big difference. For those of you who are watching, please let us know, you know, what you've learnt in your writing journey, and what you've had to change, and if you've ever had to go back and re-edit to improve your books because you've learnt so much. So let us know. It'd be really, really interesting to find out. We've got some more people who have joined us. We've got David. David was a recent guest. He says, hello, ladies.
Oh, hello. Yes, I watched David.
He was fantastic. He really, really was. It was such a good show. We've also got Rochelle, who's another author. She says, hello. Hello.
Oh, hello,
Do you know, it's amazing. I tell you, our audience, I got to tell you, because I'm super stoked when I found out. Our reach for the show is now 106,000. Isn't that amazing? I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. We're helping so many authors. It's absolutely amazing. Now, Josephine, your books, I've managed to read 2 of them. I devoured them, should I say? Devoured.
And you read the unedited version.
I did. I love them. Your world building and your description of characters and everything is absolutely phenomenal. Now, is that something that just comes naturally to you? Do you just picture your characters in your mind? You envision, you know, imagine these places that you create, or you do?
Maybe I'm a bit OCD. When I was younger and I wasn't writing, this is going to be really bad, I'd found myself picking colours out of things or just counting. Just in my head, just counting. But now I'm actually thinking, oh, I can do that with so-and-so, and they can do that, and I can make that, and I'm at it just constantly. My mind is always going.
Do you know, I'm so glad we're both the same, because I'm always like that as well. It just, once you turn it on, you can't turn it off, can you? I mean, I get inspiration at the weirdest times, like in the shower. I'll be doing the dishes, and all of a sudden,
I like ironing because I plot when I'm ironing.
Oh, do you? I'll have to try that, because I hate ironing with a vengeance.
I don't mind ironing because I can. Yeah, it's quiet. Nobody likes ironing, so I iron. I don't dislike ironing because I like to see a nice iron pile of clothes at the end of it, and I've just done that. Again, it's achievement, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the act itself is, yeah.
Yeah. I might have to combine the two like you do. Now, your characters, I mean, your what I loved about, because I read Balance.
Yeah.
And your female characters, I love the fact that they're very feminine, but they also turn out to be really badass as well, you know? Your characters go on a real journey, don't they? It's almost like self-discovery because, you know, they get thrown into these new worlds and new encounters with all these different demons and monsters and stuff like that. And they go through this whole transformation of discovery, and they find their inner strength, and all of a sudden, you know, they're fighting with, you know, others, and they're kicking ass, and they, you know, some of your characters find power that they didn't know they had. That must be such an adventure for you to actually write.
It is. Yeah. Balance was started off to be a standalone and just a one-off, but it grew so much I had to make it two because of that reason of the building up of the characters, the building up of the world. I didn't want it to be a series. Got a lot of those. But it ended up being two, so that each book was manageable. Sometimes I have an idea and the character or the scene is there, and then other times it develops as you write it as well, and you think, I can put that in there. Sometimes a light bulb moment as well. And I don't do that, do this instead, it's better. I will say I do have to write things down quick so I don't forget.
Glory, both of us. Both got
and then it's like I get to it and it's, well, what word did I want? Yeah, I have a list of descriptive words that I like to use that I can pull on, and then, oh, that was it. I also now have a list of the words that I shouldn't be using as well.
Enemy words.
Yes, those, yes. I use too much. I have a tendency to write like I speak and just waffle on. So I have to slow that down. But that's where I overcompensated before as well, because trying to slow it down and not making them too long, that's how I ended up with my bullet points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fine balance, isn't it? And sometimes that's really, really tough. I think most of us try, well, without even realize it, most of us write how we talk. And that's a very, very common thing for especially new writers to do. And I notice with my books, especially after living in America for so long.
Yeah.
Because now it's weird. I sort of throw in American and a bit of you know, mainly English, but throw in a bit of American. And when I first started writing my books, I confused readers because they were like, "Hang on a minute, I thought this author was American, and she's just thrown in this English term," and they're so confused. So I had, like you, I had to go back because I didn't want to confuse readers. And most of my readers are here in America because that's where I'm based. So I had to go back and take out a lot more of my English terminology, etc., because it was too confusing for people. A lot of people thought it was a grammar mistake, and it wasn't. It was proper English.
Yeah, I found that in my original stories, I've used slang British words, and I've had ladies that have read them and actually said, what does that mean? But I've also made up words because I've made up names as well, and I've mixed a bit of Latin in with a bit of Greek, and so now I found some of the words I have kept because I specifically I called one man Mardy. Americans don't know what Mardy means, so I've explained it a little bit. But the other stuff I've taken out and I've put more formal words in, not American or English, just more formal.
Yeah, words that people know.
Yeah, so that they understand, and it cuts out slang. Again, it's that editing bit. It's making it better.
Yeah,
Hopefully, she says.
A writer's work is never done. It really isn't.
Well,
Because
I've just re-edited 9, and now I'm on number 9. The last 2 were fine, well, better. And looking back at the original ones that I re-edited back in April, I'm thinking I could still make those better now, but I'm not going back and doing them immediately. But I may at some point go back and do those again as well.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, you really are to be commended, because I think any writer who's willing to keep going back and improving, there's no way you can't succeed. You know, it's only if you're not willing to change and evaluate and learn from our mistakes, that's when you're not going to succeed. If you're not willing to do what's necessary. So I think you're absolutely amazing. I really do. We've got some more comments. I'm going to pop them up. Let's have a look. Hang on a second. Okay, we've got Scott who's joined us. He says hello from Oklahoma.
Wow, Oklahoma.
Yes, thank you for joining us, Scott. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've got any questions for Josephine or myself or in general, please put them in the comments. We've got your fabulous hubby who's joined us. He says, "Cooey."
I'll do it.
I love Nick. He's so awesome. I really do. We got a comment from Michelle. Rochelle says, "I had a French Canadian read my stories trying to improve her English, and she found several errors and reached out to me. I welcomed them. It had gone through a critique group, several passes by me, including listening to it, and an editor." I feel your frustration, Rochelle. Do you know, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's another set of eyes. There are always going to be, even in the published books, there is errors.
Yeah, traditionally published books. I agree. I've read so many books. I've always been a book reader, and you're right. Even even traditionally published books can end up with slight errors, because everybody who goes through your work, after they've read it 2 or 3 times, you go blind to the errors.
Yeah, which is why I listen to mine.
Yeah, your brain corrects it for you, and you don't even notice.
But even for me, with listening to them, it sounds right, but grammatically, it might not be right.
Yeah.
A semicolon and a comma and the rest of it, it might not look correct and be grammatically correct, but it will sound fine, because you've got the breaks. It doesn't mean that break is correct. So there'll always be something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what's nice is that people, readers do reach out, and I love that. If a reader sends you a personal message and says, "By the way, I've just spotted something, just thought I'd let you know." All of us authors appreciate that. We really, really do. It's when you get the odd person who slates you publicly and unnecessarily, that hurts. That does hurt.
Well, the thing is, so much work goes into them as well.
Well, this is it. It's our blood, sweat, and tears, isn't it? So I'm sure every author will agree who's watching now.
Yeah.
You do put everything into our work, and then we literally put it out there and bar our soul for everyone to judge, and it's tough. It's a tough thing. So I would never, and even before I became an author, I would never, ever, ever slate a person who's created a book, because sometimes it takes people years to do it.
There should be something in it that you can find positive, even if it's the only fact that they've put it in print and been brave enough to put it in print.
Yeah, and as my mum used to tell me, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say
anything at all.
One of the best things ever. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's have a look. Adam says, "If we have a question, do we write it here or on YouTube?" I'm new to streaming on YouTube, Adam, so I am not sure if your questions on
On there
YouTube
will show.
will show up here. I honestly don't know, Adam. I'm not sure. But just to be safe, if you can put your question here on the Facebook Live, and then that way I know I can see it 100%. But we'll give it a go. We're learning as we go along. All good. It's all good. Stephanie's joined us. Stephanie Nietzsche, another fantastic author. She says, "Hello, I see you are both laughing already." Yep.
We're always laughing.
Always. Life is
Well,
too short. Life is too short. Bear with me a second because I've got spammer.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I've just tried to. There we go. He's gone. Gone. There's a change from psychic readings. That's
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
looking
we've had
at.
a few of those.
Yeah. David says, as it happens, I did go back and re-edit my first book due to a few typos, but also because I felt strongly that scenes I had been made to cut deserved to be put in my humble opinion. Good for you, David. I
Yeah.
tell you, it's amazing, isn't it? Sometimes we can get given so much advice and so many tips and everything else, but ultimately we as the author need to make our own decision. And
You have to draw the line somewhere.
You do.
If you're going to ask for advice or help, or can you run your eye over this, stick to a few people you trust, maybe one or two. Don't overdo it, otherwise it will not be your work by the time you're finished. It'll be everybody else's.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're like me because I value my beta readers, my test readers. I like you, I've got not a massive amount of beta and test readers, but I do have a really good selection of amazing readers who will be very honest with me. They'll tell me if they want more of something, less of something, if something doesn't quite sit right with them. And that feedback is invaluable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. I know you've got a fantastic selection of beta readers as well.
Yeah.
And for the authors, for the new authors and writers who are joining us today, if you want to find really good beta readers and test readers, start by looking at the authors who write similar to you. Have a look at their readers. Have a look at the people on Goodreads who have read and reviewed their books, and reach out. Add them as a friend. Send them a message. Would you mind?
Well, that's how I got a lady that reads mine.
Yeah.
From somebody else on Facebook, that she said, I haven't got time to read it, but I know somebody who will. She read one and she's whizzed through several.
Yeah.
As I've put them on. She'll be getting Don't Break Me when she's okay. She's been polished, so.
I'd say they're like gold, aren't they? They really are.
Talk to people.
Yeah.
But be wise in who you talk to.
Yeah, always. You know what? Whenever I'm on the lookout to add some more beta and test readers, I always look at what they've reviewed. What books they've reviewed to see if they're similar. I've also had a look to see how they've approached books that they haven't been into or haven't enjoyed, and what they've said about them. To see whether it was just not very nice or whether it was constructive. Or you've got to, haven't you? You've got to research. You really have. We've also got Lisa with a comment. She says, I love how she builds her stories and I like the characters too. I agree, Lisa. They are absolutely brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. So out of all of your 13 books, which book or series is your personal favorite?
Oh
no, I love putting her on the spot.
Yeah. I haven't actually got one. At the times while I'm writing them, they're it. And I don't focus on anything else. But when I've finished, I move on to the next, and then they're the favourites.
Yeah.
I sort of cut ties and move on. Otherwise, you'd be constantly going back. But I have a standalone one called Broken Fears, and that was sort of the first one that I delved into, it being a bit darker and a bit Beauty and the Beastish. So you got a bit of a monster going there. And yeah, I liked the way that one gelled.
Yeah, yeah.
But I haven't re-edited that one yet, everybody.
I'll apologise. There's some banging going on. I don't know where it's coming from. Might be my neighbour because he's moving. Oh my gosh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Lisa says, I think beta readers are an important ingredient for a good book story before it is published. I agree. I absolutely agree. Now, I know you've always been a massive book reader, haven't you? You've always devoured books. Which authors do you think have given you the most inspiration, or that have, you know, sort of inspired your books or inspired you as an author?
When I was younger, I used to read a lady called Victoria Holt, and she did period pieces, and I enjoyed that. I read for the romance side. I was never into Mills and Boons. They were always too soppy.
Yeah.
I wanted something with a bit more real life grit, not so much flowers and roses.
Yeah.
I like Stephen King. We've discussed this before. James Herbert as well. I've read Clive Cussler too. I like a good thriller. When I started getting back into writing again, and was sort of considering doing them myself, I was reading a lady called Dita Callens.
Oh, okay.
And I actually reached out and started talking to her, and she advised me, and that was where Listen came from, because I actually wrote to the Pledge series, the trilogy, first, and it was like 5, I hand wrote it all, 5 books long.
Wow.
But because it was so long, I didn't start with that one. I wrote myself a fresh one.
Oh, okay.
And made it sort of shorter, and that's where Listen came from, and My Blue Aliens. But when I put that on, it just, from then on, I just couldn't stop. And then I went back after I'd done several of the Listen series and put the Pledge series on as a trilogy and split it into 3. But I found that my ladies weren't happy with that when they read it. They didn't like the ending.
Oh,
so I may in future have to do another one. I've promised them another one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good if they're demanding more. That's a good sign.
A little bit. They loved the story, but the way I ended it was fine for me because, but no, they didn't. They wanted more.
Oh. I love it when readers say they want more. That's such a good sign. I mean, you can't get a better compliment than that, can you?
No, not at all.
Well, that's awesome. Now you write primarily dark fantasy, with spicy books. We like a bit of spice.
I do. I like to read it as well. I like the romance. Each to their own, and everybody's different. Mine are not as blunt and out there as some of them, but it's definitely spicy.
Yeah, but it's realistic spice. That's what I love about your books. You don't just throw in, sex scenes for the sake of sex scenes. Yeah. It's real relationships, isn't it? That's what I love. Yeah, it's an emotional connection. Your characters are literally connecting on a real deep level. And, the spice is there because it's realistic. I think that's brilliant. And just so all of you know, I honestly think Josephine invented the blue aliens before Ruby Dixon. I'm just saying.
I did. I've been writing a lot longer than Ruby Dixon. I'm not giving my age away there.
Because you also write a bit sci-fi as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, your sci-fi books are really highly rated, which is absolutely amazing. Now, with the dark fantasy, which your readers absolutely devour, and your science fiction, which again your readers devour, have you thought about testing the water with any other genres? Because it is becoming more acceptable now, isn't it? Where authors are multi-genre. They're not just
it's not just that, it's the whole spice situation as well with it. When I first started writing, it wasn't acceptable.
Yeah. And then along came 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, and now it is, because mine have always been that way.
Yeah.
I like to fill my characters and the readers with the whole relationship, not just part of it.
Including when they have an argument. I love that. When I was reading Balance and Retribution, I love the fact that your two main characters had a proper relationship. You know, there was snarkiness, she was pissing him off and he was pissing her off. And then you've got the passion side when they make up. It was real, because that's real life, isn't it? At the end of the day, nobody has, as you said, like a Mills and Boons relationship. That's one in a million. But your characters have full-on relationships where they do have the ups and downs, and one minute they love each other, next minute they want to kill each other, but that's real life. My husband and I have been together 30 years. I'm sure sometimes he'd like to strangle me in my sleep.
I'll tell you what my husband calls me. You've heard him a few times.
It's real life. And I think the more real life our stories are, even if they are fantasy or science fiction or historical or whatever, you want your readers to be able to connect with the characters and their relationship, don't you? And even if your relationship isn't exactly the same as theirs, you've probably been through experiences that are similar, or other people who have had similar experiences, and you get that connection.
For me, I've always enjoyed writing and the words, and my imagination just runs riot. But I write now for the older lady.
Yeah.
Because I'm an older lady myself, and there's a lot for the younger adults. But being there's so much life experience there, as you just said. It's there. There's phrases in all my books that have been used, or that I've seen said, or had said, I've said, Nick said. Yeah, it's all there. It's not all. That life can be stranger than fiction at times.
I agree. Some of the stories I've heard over the years, oh my good God.
Yeah.
I
may delve a little bit. I don't think I've changed genres. And fantasy romance, top of the umbrella, and I'm coming down from there. I may try maybe a little bit of reverse horror. I'm not sure. Ooh. That might be what I'm working on at the moment.
Oh, I'm volunteering right now.
In between editing, because I'm on number 9, I haven't so many to go, so I feel now that I'm able to maybe spend a day editing, and then, or half a day editing and half a day working on, and I've got something like 4,000 words already on another one.
Wow, fantastic.
That I just keep going to and popping a bit in. It's not in order. When I write it properly, I like to write it in order.
Yeah.
Because as you write in, things change.
Yeah.
If you put something different in, and it will change, it will grow and evolve.
Yeah, exactly.
So I make notes.
Well, Lisa says, yes, more please.
You've already got a reverse horror in that lady.
Oh my God.
I asked her in the week if she could pick one of the characters, and she couldn't. So she couldn't.
That was so funny, bless her. I just had to, I don't know whether you can see everybody, but I just had to block another,
I can, yeah.
Another spammer.
Took another one off, I saw.
Oh, that pain in the butt. For those of you who have just joined us, just to let you know, Josephine is doing a giveaway today, which is fantastic. So Josephine is going to give away a beautiful bracelet. If you want my showing us again, my darling. It is absolutely stunning. Look at that. Beautiful. So you've got a chance to win that beautiful bracelet. And you've also got a chance to win one of 5 ebooks. So we're going to have 6 winners. All you have to do for your chance to win the bracelet or one of the 5 ebooks of Listen, if you don't mind showing us the cover for Listen, all you have to do, there we go, it's gorgeous. You should just have to share this interview. So share this interview, tag either myself or Josephine or both of us. So one of us gets to see your entry. And the more shares you do, the more entries you will receive. So you can share the interview in book clubs, book groups that you're on, wherever you want. The more shares, the merrier. And the more entries you get, so you've got more chance of winning. And as I said, don't forget to like and subscribe because we've got lots of new shows coming up and it's all exciting. Just so you all know as well, I am planning to do a spicy book chat next month for Valentine's Day. So far, I've got myself, Josephine, Leanna Dunk, who's a book blogger from Slam Dunk Luscious Reads. It's almost like a tongue twister, that is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The wine already. And who else we got? Terza Schaefer, who's a fantastic romance author as well. So if any of you are romance and spicy book authors and you might like to be involved in my spicy book chat for next month, shoot me a message and let me know. If any of you authors would like to come on the Witty Writers Show as a guest, you can shoot me a message on my website and I can send you more information. It isn't free, but I work my socks off.
Yes,
you get lots of promotion and your interview. What's ahead of you for the rest of the year then, Josephine? Because obviously, you're on book 9 at the moment. I know you actively promote your books. Plus, you do help in author support groups as well, which is absolutely amazing because you do participate in mine and Autumn's group, which is Write Better, Author Smarter. If you haven't joined, people, get on there. But you also you're with by the author with Beth Brand. She's fantastic. You're also on Sarah Louise's group as well. Which one's that?
Authors Supporting Authors, but it's a white cover. There is another one with the flame type. Profile picture.
So you're a very busy lady. How on earth do you fit it all in?
Spend a lot of time doing it.
Doesn't sleep.
I've got a very supportive family. Hubby's great, and the kids are too. So, yeah.
I think you get. I mean, you are constantly helping other authors and other writers, and I'm sure, like me, you find it so rewarding, especially when you see other authors.
And I enjoy talking. And connecting. I've found the writing community is brilliant. I know some other ladies that have posted that they've not found it so good. Sometimes I think it's how you approach people as well.
Yeah.
I only ever treat anybody how I would like to be treated. I don't do spam. If I want something, I'll ask you for it, and then I will do my research. I'll look you up, see who you are, what you've done. I don't just take anything. Try not to take anything on face value, but I do.
Yeah.
But I do try to do my homework when it comes to something like that. I don't. So fed up of the spam ones that say, "Do you realise you can have the federal government doing this?" Oh, right. Well, it would help if you actually looked at my profile and found I was in the UK, not in America, for a start.
I know. I get those constantly. I am constantly inundated with spam messages, and it's so frustrating because it takes my time dealing with those. It takes away the time that I have where I want to help other authors and other writers and respond to my readers. And it just takes away valuable time. It's a pain in the arse. It really, really is. You can't get away from it, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. But the moment somebody sends me a request, and if they look genuine like you, if they seem genuine, and they've got genuine profile or it looks genuine, then I'll accept it. But the moment I get a message saying, so where are you? What do you do for a living? I'm like, delete.
Have you not looked?
Because I mean, if I'm going to send somebody a request, I'm going to check them out first before I even bother sending them a request. You know, so that's, for me, that's a sure sign straight away that they're just spamming. But it's frustrating.
I've found that my networking is growing.
Yeah.
And the more it grows, the more you get. Yes. But I am picky.
Yeah, my PA now responds for me most of the time. And unless it's from a genuine reader or a genuine author or writer, then I will personally respond. But other than that, no, PA gets it. Stephanie says, that's fantastic. Keep up the wonderful work, ladies. And you, Stephanie, and you, my darling, because she does fantastic as well. She really, really does. We are coming towards the end. I can't believe the hour is nearly up. It is.
Oh, tell me.
It is shocking, honestly. For those of you who are watching, I just want to remind you that Valentine's Day is just around the corner. So if you are stuck for a present for your spouses, then buy them a book. Josephine has a fantastic selection, which she will show you right now. And if you order them now, you should get them in time for Valentine's Day. Da, da, da.
There's part of the wrong way. There's part of the
there we go. Look at those beautiful books. So if you've got a spouse that's into dark fantasy or sci-fi, click on Josephine's author profile on Facebook.
Number one.
On Amazon. They're all available.
We have it right way round.
There we go. Beautiful.
And that's number 2.
There we go. And if you want signed copies of any of her books, then please go over to Josephine's author page and shoot her a message via her author page, and then she can let you know all about her signed copies. I've got another spammer.
I can see.
Does that mean that we're getting successful?
I don't know. Maybe they want to be. I mean, I've opened a post up on by the author spotlight the other day to add some ladies into my books and use them. Maybe they want to be in.
I love that. I love that. Do you know what? I absolutely love it when your readers can get actively involved in your work. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And like you, I do enjoy asking them questions and getting feedback and finding out what they think. I think it's absolutely wonderful. We're going to have to wrap it up, unfortunately, because time is getting on.
We are.
Also, peoples, if you would like to get the Earth Angels trilogy for Valentine's Day, do order now because Amazon gets inundated. So always buy early so you can get your books in. And also you can get signed copies from me as well. Oh, Adam says, spammers are demons and aliens. I agree. Oh, it drives me insane. There's something so unprofessional about spamming others. It really does drive me insane. And your husband Nick says, no, you're not having a donkey for Valentine's.
I've been after the baby donkey.
Okay, so for those of you who are new to Josephine lives in the West Country in the UK, and she's got surrounded by farms and everything, aren't you? And a local farmer has just had a baby donkey, and she's the cutest little thing ever. She is cute. If you want to see what the baby donkey looks like, go to Josephine's Facebook author page because she's always posting pictures. So cute. And she wants to take the donkey home.
I do.
And obviously, Nick is saying no.
I can. Why not?
Darling, I'm absolutely. I would love a little pet donkey. All babies are cute though, aren't they? But you know,
Yeah.
any animals are cute when they're little. I got my daughter's little cockapoo next to me, fast asleep.
Bless him.
He's the cutest little thing ever. Tell me quickly if you want to see the cockapoo. He's 11 weeks old. He's a little sweetheart. So if you want to see him before we finish, then let me know and I'll grab him and hold him up. He's so cute.
We're also doing the travelling book before you go.
That was my next thing. Okay, so Josephine and I, and possibly a couple of other authors as well, we're doing a traveling book promotion. By that, Earth's Angels will be traveling to the UK to the first reader who will get to read it, add a note inside, not writing on the pages, but add a note, and then they will get to send it to the next reader. And the same for Josephine. Josephine's book.
I'm doing balance, but I haven't got a book at home at the moment, so you have to bear with me a moment while I find a picture of it.
Okay, so Balance and Retribution will be coming to the US.
Yeah.
To the first reader. There we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. So it will be a paperback copy. It will be going to a first reader here in the US, and then once they've read it, they can put a note in and then send it to the second reader. So our books are going to be traveling around the UK and the US. I absolutely love it. It's going to be awesome. The only stipulation is that nobody gets to keep the books. Because we want the book to go to the next reader and the next reader, and hopefully go around, you know, each county and or each city in the UK and each city and state here. So obviously Josephine's book could take a bit longer to go on its travels because the US is so much bigger. So at some point we might do a swap and swap them over. But it's a fantastic idea. So we will be promoting that heavily. Have a look on my profile page and also Josephine's for the post in relation to this traveling books. And if you want to participate, all you need to do is comment under the post and tell us if you are in the US or the UK, and then we can put your names down.
I have a lady in the US as well that we don't already know on my Not Tonight Josephine group that wants yours.
Fantastic.
Oh, no, mine. I've got 4 ladies that are going to read yours already anyway. So.
Fantastic. My list is growing as well. It's going to be awesome. So if you want to be part of the traveling books, there we go, then let us know, because it's going to be fantastic. And obviously the next reader will get to read the book and your lovely messages that are put inside the sleeve as well.
And then they all come back to us.
And they all come back to us. So we will be doing a special show. Once we get both books back, we'll be doing a special show, reading out some of the notes and the book's journey. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to have
I think it's going to be fun.
It is. We're going to have a map so we can show which book has been where. And it's super exciting. So I'm looking.
It might be very dog-eared by the time it gets back.
It will be well loved. It will be well loved. Stephanie says Sisterhood of the Traveling Books. I love that. Absolutely, Stephanie. Absolutely. It is absolutely awesome. So please let us know if you want to participate, either as an author with a traveling book, or if you want to be one of the readers. That would be awesome. More the merrier, is all I say. Josephine, thank you so much for joining me today, darling. As I said earlier, please like and subscribe and click to be notified, because we do have the Spicy Book Chat coming up next month. I will be creating the event, hopefully over the weekend. So please stay tuned for that. I've also got the fantastic top literary agent, Mark Gottlieb, coming up on the show next week. We're going to be doing a quick fire Q&A. So if you've got any questions about the book world, the publishing industry, writing a book, or the various stages, please tune in. It's going to be fantastic. Again, it's going to be live from my author page and from YouTube, and he will answer any questions you have. So it's your opportunity to ask your burning questions about stuff you want to know more of. So join us then. Until then, have a fantastic weekend. Josephine, thank you so much,
Thank
my
you, Beth.
darling. Make sure you follow Josephine on all her platforms. The links are underneath the video. And if you do want to participate in the giveaway, all you have to do is share today's interview and you will be entered. So see you all soon. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye for now. And
Bye.
we'll see you next time on the Witty Writer Show. See you soon.